Hello. I think it's only just morning, so I'm going to say good morning. Come on in and say hi. If you're joining us live today, I am joined by the very lovely Jackie Thrift. Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good. I am going to give people an opportunity to come on in and join us before we get started because we don't want anybody to miss a moment. So I'll wait for Facebook to send out the notification, which has gone out on desktop. I'm just waiting for it on mobile too, which is lovely. There it is. Thank you very much, Facebook. Thank you for sending out your notifications. So if you're joining us live, come on in and say hi. Let us know that you're around. It'd be lovely to see you this lunchtime. If you're watching the replay, you're always equally as welcome. You can come on in and pop any comments that you have in across the broadcast and we will come back and answer them if it isn't here in real time. So hello, Judy. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Elizabeth. Lovely to see you all. So I'm going to let Jackie, first of all, introduce herself for everybody who has never met Jackie before. Would you like to take the floor, my dear?
Certainly would. Thank you very much. And thank you for taking the time and letting me come on and be interviewed. It's great to be here. So I'm Jackie Frith from Embrace Your Feminine. And I'm a mindset warrior. So I help women to focus on positivity and to really step into their creative power and their intuitive self using various different modalities. We just had a bit of a changeover with the name of the business and everything yesterday. So today is slightly different to what it would have been if we'd have been doing the interview yesterday, I think, as well.
So where did you start with spirituality, Jackie? What attracted you to spirituality? Where was your journey? Where did it come?
Yeah, to be honest, I was an actual complete non-believer. So, I was one of these that used to roll my eyes at the back of my head when people talked about spiritual things or angels. And my sister was very much into angels. And somebody I used to work with was into all the psychic development stuff. And I used to be like, oh my God, this is just a crock of shite. And then it was around about 2004 and I wrote my car off on the M6. So I basically was in the fast lane and I span all the way across the motorway and ended up in a ditch. The car was written off, not scratch on me. And that started me thinking, was somebody looking out for me? Because the M6 on a Friday night is normally packed. So for no other cars to be involved or anything, it just started to pique my interest. And then one of the girls at work said to me, I know somebody might be able to help you. So she said, just give me a piece of jewelry and she can tell you things about yourself. And I'm thinking, what? That's just rubbish. So anyway, she went away. She came back a week later and said, well, she said this, and this about you. And I'm thinking, all that from a ring? That's unbelievable. I mean, obviously now, I know all about psychometry and things, but at the time, and I just thought I need to go and see this woman. And my friend said to me, just so you know, she's a white witch. I'm thinking, this is so far out of my comfort zone. But I was at that time extremely depressed. I was anxious. It just felt as if something was missing in my life. I'd got a really good job. I was manager of a, corporate business, £2 million turnover, staff, house, car, good salary, but something just seemed to be missing. So when I got to her house, she opened the door and she got these long flowing white robes on. And oh God, and I walked into the kitchen and she said to me, we were chatting about things, and then she said, oh, this is my dog. I manifested him. And I thought, she's a crackpot. How can you manifest a dog? You've either got a dog or you haven't got a dog. You don't just manifest them. And then we sat down and she started reading my palm. And she said, she got this ruler out and started measuring things on my palm. And she said, oh, you're highly psychic. And I'm like, she went, oh, you could read tarot cards if you wanted to. And I'm like, no, why would I want to do that? And then she said to me, you're extremely spiritual. And I said, no, I'm not spiritual at all. And that was because I associated spirituality with religion, which obviously are two completely separate things. And she said, no, you are extremely spiritual. And then her kind of parting shot, should we say, for me. She said, and you are also a victim of your own thoughts. And I was like, what? And she said, yeah. She said, the negative thoughts that you're having are creating negativity in your life. And I think that was the more profound thing that I got from the session than anything. I mean, apart from the fact that I wanted to go like, what? You cheeky bitch, you know, but you know, it was really, then that was the start of everything. And I sort of came away and started Googling things about angels. And I mean, she gave me a book to read. I can't even remember what it was, but it was quite religious. So it didn't really fit with me as such, but my journey then started. So I started looking into angels, positive mindset, which obviously then was, you know, became law of attraction. So I've kind of turned it full tilt because now I teach about it. So I've gone from non-believer to teacher.
I think that's so interesting because, you know, hands up who in the comments, there was that shift moment to becoming quite spiritual. There was something that happened, or there was something that, you know, you might have been curious before, or you might have been like Jackie and just gone, nah, that's a load of shite.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah.
Any place in the middle, you know, I think it's really interesting to hear people's journeys into spirituality. And, you know, what sort of spiritual tools were the first things that you got involved with?
The first thing I did was Reiki, and I think a lot of people that are starting on their spiritual journey kind of start with Reiki. It just seemed the easiest thing for me to do, so I started with that. I always remember I went to my first sort of psychic development group. You know what? I was rubbish. I was so rubbish. We were doing the psychometry, we were doing the cards. I couldn't get anything, nada. You know, I was like looking at something, I'm like, I'm getting nothing. And there were all these people there saying, oh, and I look at you and I see blue and red around your aura. And they're saying all this magical stuff. And I'm like, but I drove away from that first night crying because I knew it was what I was meant to be doing.
Right.
So even though I was shite, I persevered with it. You know, and I remember pendulums, you know, I mean, I can pick up any sort of pendulum now and get it to work. Have you got one there? Yeah. And I can get them to work. But years ago, I could not get any pendulums to it. And I remember I went to a psychic mind, body, spirit fair, and there was a guy behind one of the counter things. And he was showing me how to use a pendulum and I couldn't do it. Any more or less gave up on me. I was like, you know, okay, maybe this is like not the thing for you. And I'm thinking, no, that's not. So again, and this is what I tell all my students now, because we use pendulums when I teach Reiki, and I'll say to them, look, just because you might not be able to do it now, you just keep doing it. I couldn't do any pendulum dowsing at all. They just wouldn't move. It was just like stuck. But the more you work with it, and the more you open up your intuition. Because basically you're communicating with your higher self, your intuition, when you're using a pendulum. And as I said, now I can just pick up any pendulum and use it. Same with dowsing rods. I couldn't work them at first, but now I can.
I just seem to have showed everybody the fact that I've got a pendulum in my bra.
Yeah, I'm quite liking that. Is it a lapis?
It's beautiful. It's
I can see it looks blue. Oh, it's turquoise.
Yeah, this is one that Trudy Core gifted me and sent me.
That's beautiful.
Because we've got a star on it, look. A rock star.
Oh, fabulous.
So I've just admitted to having that in my bra anyway. Do you think that it's you that was blocking that pendulum in that you were still going, I can't do this, I don't do this?
You know, quite possibly it was, yeah. I mean, obviously at the time you don't, because I still probably wasn't so much aware of my thoughts and things then, and what you think about is obviously what you're creating. So I was probably unconsciously aware that I was blocking it rather than, you know, consciously as such. But yeah, I think it's the same with anything, you know, even when, you know, when I've been teaching angel card readings and things, and when I've done readings, I know sometimes I'm like, what if I don't get anything? I might not get anything, you know, and that is, it can be a block. And in all of the work that we do, you do, the biggest stumbling block in all of it is you, you know, not having the belief or the courage or whatever to do what it is that you that you want to do. And this is kind of what brought about the whole change in the name of the business yesterday, because something just didn't feel right. Something was kind of blocking, and I know we've had this conversation, something was blocking me from moving forward and sort of really getting out and shining with the business, you know. I felt like it wasn't congruent with what I was trying to get across to people, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as you started going to spiritual development, you started to learn Reiki. What was your next steps?
I think from then it was looking at angel cards. So I've done mediumship workshops as well. I mean, I'm not a medium. I do connect with spirit. I do work with spirit, but not in a mediumistic way. Although I have given mediumship messages, that just doesn't feel like my path. Even though many people have said, oh, this is what you're going to be doing, and you're going to be doing platform work and stuff, that doesn't feel like that's the right way that I'm going to go. I'm not saying I never will, but it didn't at the time. But I think, yeah, angel cards. I'd looked at tarot. I couldn't get on with, and I think because I've got a very logical mind, so I would predominantly work from my left brain, and when you're working intuitively, you're working from the right side. So when I was doing tarot, my logical brain was coming in to try and remember what the cards meant rather than actually what I'm reading from the person. So it was like I was blocking it. As soon as I switched from tarot to angel cards, the energy was completely different.
Yeah.
But my journey is still evolving all the time. You know, I'm getting into goddesses, looking at a lot to do with the feminine energy, masculine energy. It's forever evolving, which I think we all are, to be fair. I think, you know, on our journey, it's never ending.
Totally. So masculine and feminine energy, tell us a bit more about that.
Well, I have always worked out of my masculine energy, and to be fair, this again was something that I didn't realize. And I remember years ago I went for a coaching session with somebody, and she started asking me all these questions about did I agree with feminine and masculine traits and things, and did I think that I was equal to men? And I was like, yeah, of course I'm more. And she said to me, you're too masculine. But I didn't understand so I took that as an insult. And she was saying that I needed to walk around my house in high heels and skirts. And I'm thinking, I wear makeup. I have my nails done. I am feminine. It wasn't until I then really started to understand, in terms of a lot of it was people that I was attracting, you know, men that I was attracting and things. You know, I'd attract quite a lot of needy men. And I didn't understand why. And it's because predominantly I'm operating out of my masculine. However, what I then realize is that we actually need to have a balance between the two. So we need to have our masculine energy and our feminine energy. So this is, I mean, the name of the business is now Embrace Your Feminine. And this is about understanding what feminine energy is and the divine feminine, and being passionate and powerful and strong and have our strengths, but equally have the softer traits with it. And I think that's probably the bit that I still need to tweak and still need to work on, is the softer side of me. But that's what Embrace Your Feminine is all about. It's about standing in your power and standing up for yourself as well, and not being taken advantage of, and speaking your truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when you're looking at, you know, those sort of energies and the difference between masculine and feminine energy, can you give us some examples of working out of each one?
Well, I think so. In terms of my business, and this was a real kind of something that I thought about yesterday when I was talking about what it is that I do, and I said, you know, I'm a warrior, and in terms of that is predominantly using so you're still feminine, but you're using the masculine energy of the warrior. So that's about the strength, the determination, not so much aggression, but assertive. But the feminine is about intuition. It's about creativity. It's about nurture and nature and that kind of thing. And again, as I say, it's about blending those two together. I'm still working on a lot of my feminine traits because, as I say, I still predominantly work from the masculine, but now I understand that. And I think what I was thinking in terms of with being spiritual, I think a lot of people think it's fluffy and it's all nice and it's all light and it's all unicorns and it's all fairies and it's all that. And for some people it is, but that's not my way of being spiritual. And so I think it was about thinking, who am I as a person, and do I actually need to change? Because I think I was thinking I needed to change who I was and become somebody else. And what I've actually realized is, no, this is embracing who I am and loving who I am as me, because fundamentally this is who I am, and I was brought here on this earth to be this person. And my qualities come from my strengths, my independence, my leadership, my my warrior qualities. But yeah, I do need to work on the feminine side of that, and that's a work in progress.
Yeah, I love that. So I would love to ask you all in the comments whether you feel that you have a dominant energy, whether you feel that you're predominantly working from your feminine or your masculine, what sort of traits come up for you, whether you feel massive amounts of balance in there, or if you feel like you maybe work and be from one area or the other. So your spiritual journey led you along the line of being able to do and ultimately teach Reiki, do and ultimately teach angel cards. How do you show up in your spiritual life? Because I know that we called this about that practical spirituality, about it not necessarily being, like you said, the pixies and unicorns and kaftans and retreats. What is the actual sort of impact of your spirituality, and how does it show up in your day-to-day?
Well, for me, when we talk about being spiritual, it's about understanding that we are spirit in a human body. So there is more to us than just as we are. We're all energy, and it's about connecting with the source energy or divine energy or the universe or whatever you want to call it. We all call it different things. But so I meditate, I self-heal, and I am forever communicating with my own guides, angels, goddesses, my family that are in spirit. So I communicate on a daily basis with them. I practice gratitude. So morning and evening, I will, I've got an app on my phone. So I look at what I'm grateful for in the morning. In the evening, I write about what good things have happened in the day. And it's about giving thanks. And it's about, I think a lot of it for me is about understanding who you are as a person and accepting who you are. And I do a lot of personal development, reading myself. And, I'm always trying to be a better version of me. But I think, as I say, it's now understanding that I don't need to change. Yeah, we might need to sand down some of the edges, the rough edges. But it's about accepting everything. And equally, it's about looking after this shell that we are in as well. Because, I've had quite a few health issues recently. And I get that really I've not been looking after myself. I do a lot of talking to other people about looking after themselves, but not really doing it myself. And I think a lot of it is about walk your talk, practice what you preach. So, I've just got a gym. I've turned one of my spare rooms in my house into a gym. I'm looking at my diet. So I'm changing a lot of that, cutting most of the meat out of my diet. I'm trying to look very plant-based diet. But it's really, I don't necessarily think you can say what's your spiritual day like, because for me, I just live it as it is. Obviously I have practices, like I said, I do self-healing and I do meditation. I don't necessarily do it every day, but I try and do it as much as I can. And a lot of my breakthrough things and my ideas come through when I'm meditating. And that's just a great way of getting out of the busyness of things and just settling into that connection with higher self.
Yeah. You said you used an app for gratitude. What app do you use?
It's called the 5 minutes. I think 5 minute. They have 5 minute journal. So yeah, 5 minute journal app, and it's brilliant. It's about £4, I think. You can get the journal. They actually have a printed journal as well, but I've got tons of journal. So and it sends you a notification. So it'll send you in the morning to ask you what you're looking for, and then at night it will tell you. And you can put quick pictures on there as well. You can go back and read it. So it's really good.
Cool. Elizabeth says she's quite masculine and speaks her mind and can be driven when needed, but she also has a caring, kind side, and she's a very practical person.
Which sounds very balanced, and that's brilliant. That's exactly what we're looking for. We're all looking for that balance. So it's not trying to move away from the masculine or move away from the feminine. It's about knowing when you're using each type of energy and blending the two as such.
Mm-hmm. So one of your favourite areas of, I suppose, if we're going to go, of spirituality is the law of attraction. Do you want to tell us more about that?
Yeah, I think, and again, this stemmed from when I went to see the White Witch woman, and when she talked about the negative thoughts, and that really put me onto the path of law of attraction. I didn't know what it was called at first, so I just studied positive mindset, and this was before the Secret came out, and it just really got me interested in it. And I think what The Secret did was bring it into the forefront for everybody to embrace it and look about it. Do you know what I mean? And I think, and that was fabulous. And again, we're doing I've got a group, Embrace Your Feminine, and we're doing a 7-day manifest challenge, which starts on Monday. So this is giving sort of hints and tips about how you can manifest. And I think some people who I talk to, Charlie's come to join in. Some people who all right, Charlie. Some people who I talk to about it will say, "Oh, I don't use it," or it doesn't work for me. And whether you think you're using it or not, you are using it every day, because it's a universal law. Your thoughts create what is in your life, and if you're going through negative stuff, it's probably because you've been having some negative thoughts. When you're going through some good stuff, you're having good positive thoughts. What it doesn't mean is that just because you're working from a law of attraction perspective, it doesn't mean that shit's not going to happen. It's just how you react to it when it does. And I know I can be a very reactive person, and sometimes you can manifest things for good and bad, but this is about really now honing in on things that you want to bring into your life. We're all energy, and we vibrate on an energetic level. So if you're having good thoughts, your energy levels are going to be high and be vibrating high, which means in a like attract like scenario, you're going to attract the similar things of the same level. If you're having negative thoughts, then your energy is going to be low. So therefore, like attracts like, you're going to attract low energy and negative situations and scenarios into your life.
And law of attraction and manifestation, obviously two separate words.
Yeah.
Differences?
Well, fundamentally, it's the same. But law of attraction is about the what you think about, you bring about positive thoughts, and looking at the universe as a whole. When I'm talking about manifesting, I'm talking about actually setting an intention. So what do I want to bring into my life? For instance, the gym that I've created, I set the intention that I was going to have a gym in my house. I've no idea how I was going to do it. Within a week, it was all in place, and I'd manifested all the equipment and everything. It's about being specific about what you want and going through the steps of how to manifest it, and focusing on it, visualizing it, acting as if you've already got it, it's in the present, being grateful for it. That fundamentally is the law of attraction, but it breaks down to the manifesting stages of law of attraction.
So manifestation is the specifics within law of attraction, which is more big.
So law of attraction is a universal law, and it encompasses obviously lots of different things within there. But when we're talking about manifesting, we're using the principles of law of attraction. So you think positively, raise your vibration, show gratitude and things. But when I'm talking about manifesting, I'm talking about bringing something specifically, and it doesn't have to be a material thing, because again, law of attraction often has this, it's about attracting £1 million house and £100,000 in a week. And that's really not necessarily what it's about. For me, law of attraction is about enhancing the life that you live, and bringing good things into your life, and just being grateful and having gratitude for that.
And when you are looking at how you can work with people and how you can support people, what areas of your spiritual toolbox do you think that you bring most through that?
I think, the law of attraction is fundamentally, when I'm teaching, is what I'm bringing across to people. When I've done readings, in the past, it's always come back to law of attraction. So that's my passion when I'm talking to people. But I will use my own intuition, and I tune into the energy of a person, so I know what's going on with them when I'm talking to them. And you can do that. I don't have to be with them in the same room. I can do that over video or a phone call. I may use my angel cards, goddess cards, whatever different cards I may want to use, and but fundamentally, it's about getting to the root of what it is that my client needs. So it's a bespoke, I can't say I will do this or will do that, because it all depends on what they're needing at the time. But usually a session with me will incorporate lots of law of attraction, visualizations, meditations, and action plans to move forward with what it is that you want to bring into your life.
Cool. And how can people find out more?
They can find me on Facebook. So I'm assuming we may be able to put some links in the comments. So my page is Embrace Your Feminine, Female Mindset Warriors, and my group is Embrace Your Feminine, and the group is where we are doing the 7-day manifesting challenge from next Monday. So that's 7 days. And my website is jackiefrith.com.
Cool. Would anybody like to ask either Jackie or me any questions while we're here? I love that that Marie said that the best thing that she's manifested is inner peace. How cool is that?
That's amazing. And that for me is truly what it's all about. It doesn't have to be a material thing. I love that. That's amazing. Fabulous.
Gorgeous, isn't it? So if you want to ask us questions, I'm going to try and put some links in the comments. It doesn't always work on this system, but I will try my very best, and you can add in any additions that you want to put in. Is there anything that you want to talk about that we haven't covered?
Are you asking me or the people?
You. Just talking about
the law of attracting things. And for me, synchronicity is one of my favourite words. And I often say to people, look for the signs. So if you're wondering about whether it's right or whether it's not, you will often see signs coming from the universe. Sometimes we are too blinkered and we don't always see them. So we have to be open to receive things from the universe, because what you want to manifest might not always be exactly the way that you think it's going to be. The universe may have different ideas. And, you know, when I think about my business, it's nothing like how I thought it was going to be, say, this time last year. But you go on that journey and things present themselves as you're going along. And, you know, you get little nudges and things that, so you know that things are right. You know, when I use the word warriors in my business, and I put that into my Embrace Your Feminine group yesterday. And there were a few saying, oh, it's a bit aggressive and it's a bit, and then I thought, for me, that word is, as I mentioned before, it's about strength and independence and standing up for yourself. And when I was cooking my breakfast this morning, because I had pancakes last night and I had some left over this morning, so I was doing some pancakes this morning. And I was there and I was thinking, yeah, a lot of people think that being spiritual is fluffy. I'm not fluffy. I'm not a fluffy person. Anybody who meets me will know I'm not fluffy. And then I went and sat down to eat my breakfast, and I got nudged to pick up a book that I've recently bought. And the book that I've recently bought is Kyle Gray, Light Warrior. And the first chapter, when I looked at it, is called Not All Angels Are Fluffy. And when I was reading his idea of what a warrior is, it's a spiritual warrior. It's not aggression as in fighting and war. It's about a light warrior, spiritual warrior. And again, that for me was my sign this morning that I've made the right decision and I've gone with what my heart says and not what other people are thinking that I should do.
Mary's saying it, she feels that it's an empowering word. So
yeah, I mean, when you look at a lot of the feminine energy sort of groups, they talk about warrior all the time. You know, the goddesses, Freya. Freya is a definite warrior goddess, and Athena's a warrior goddess. So it's more of that energy that I'm trying to embrace when I'm talking about the word warrior, rather than fighting and war. So yeah, it was an interesting for me this morning, and I was like, thanks, Kyle. You know, that's just what I needed to see to know that I was on the right path. And it's those kind of things. You know, when we talk about angels, we talk about white feathers. You know, when you get white feathers, I still, you know, whenever I see white feather, I'll look up and thank the angels. Because, you know, I still very much work with the angels on a daily basis. And in particular, Archangel Michael, who is the warrior of the archangels.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's
embracing who you are. It's about embracing who you are and not expecting or thinking that you have to change who you are.
I've got a t-shirt from Oman R London, who, if you haven't ever checked them out, they're great. That says, I'm a warrior, I'm stronger than I've ever been.
Yeah, I've been toying with the word warrior for a while, and we were on a call and you'd got a hoodie on, I think, that said warrior across it. And I'm like, and I kept saying warrior all over the place. And I know somebody, it was Haley in the group, had said, think about who you, if you're having mindset issues, or if you're having a day where you're like, oh, think about who would be the person that you would step into to be. And I said, Xena, the warrior princess. So for me, it is who I am. Do you know what I mean? So when I'm at work, it's my mission, and I need the warrior energy in my business. Trying to have a fluffy energy in my business just does not work. It doesn't cut it. And I think that's with the realization that I had yesterday, was about, this is really about what I bring to my business and who I am and what I can give to other people and to other female, you know, business owners out there as well. You know, it's yeah,
really good.
coming
I'm going
together.
to put links in there. I've got your group link, your page link, and your website link. So if anybody wants to run away and find out a little bit more about Jackie and connect with her on social, that would be really good. It'd be fabulous if you made that connection and got some more gorgeousness from her. Thank you very much for my guest today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, Sugar.
Been lovely to have you here. Thank you all for joining us. Go off and have your lunch now. If you're in the UK or if you're elsewhere, it may not be lunchtime, or you might be watching on the replay, and that will be totally irrelevant. So go grab yourself some lunch, grab yourself a brew, and I will speak to you all later on. I'm coming in tonight to do a live about creating a light up list, which is very exciting. So that's going to be Woo Woo Wednesday for this evening. So if you want to join us for that, it'll be 8:30 this evening, and we will be creating light up lists. So there you go. Thank you ever so much, all of you, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.